Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another uh, lead code problem. So here as you can see, I have picked one problem from lead code, that is add two numbers. Okay, so this question is related to adding two numbers. Okay, and these two numbers are stored in the nodes of linked list. Okay, so this particular question is related to linked list. Okay, so if you guys are not aware of linked lists, just go through this topic and then come back to this video. So so let me first read out this question. So here we are given two non empty linked list. Okay, which is representing two non-negative integers. Okay, so the two numbers which are being asked to be added, these two numbers are stored in the nodes of linked list. Okay, so now the digits are stored in a reverse order. This is very important thing to be noted here. Okay, so the digits are stored in reverse order. So while adding, we need to make sure that while adding, we need to write the digits in the correct order and then add those two numbers. And each of their nodes contains a single digit values. As it mentioned here, the numbers are stored in the linked list, and linked list uh, contains nodes, and the nodes contains a single digit. Okay, each nodes containing the single digit value. Now now what we need to do here is what our task is to do here is we need to add those two numbers. Okay, so we need to add these two numbers and then return the sum as the linked list. Okay, so this is clear. I hope you guys clear with it. So let me take this example for clear understanding. So here, as you can see here, the two numbers are given here. So this is the first number, and this is the second number. Okay, and these numbers are stored in the linked list. So this first number, uh, this first number is stored in the node of first linked list, as you can see here in the picture. So this number, as you can see, 2 is stored uh, in the first linked list, that is in the node of first linked list, and similarly 4 is stored in the node of same linked list, like that. Okay, and the second number is stored in the second linked list. So what our task is to do here is we need to add these two numbers. So before adding, we need to make sure that we need to write the elements in the correct order. Okay, which means if the number we are given 243, then we need to write in reverse order. I mean correct order. Already it is in reverse order. So we need to make sure that we need to write the digits from right to left. I mean, we need to pick the digits from right to left. I mean, in this case, 342. 342. And the second linked list number is 564. Then we need to pick the digits from right to left. I mean, 465. 465. Now let's add these numbers. 5 plus 2 is 7. 6 plus 4 is 10. I will write 0, the ones place value, and the tens place value will be forwarded as a carry. Now 4 plus 3 is 7, and one carry was there. Then what will be the answer? 8. Now this is the output after addition of these two numbers. Now should I return this number? No, this should not be returned. What I should return then? I should return is in the same order in which the in which we are given the input. Okay, I mean in the reverse order. Okay, so we need to return in the same order as the input was given. I mean 708. Also, one more thing we need to notice here is, so we need to return the sum as a linked list, not in the form of string or integer. Okay, we need to return this value. We need to return this value in the form of linked list. Means this particular digit should be stored in a node. Okay, and also this particular digit should be stored in another node, and this particular digit 8 should be stored in the another node, and each node should be pointing to the next node. Okay, and we need to return this value as the in the form of linked list. Okay, so we need to return this linked list in the form of linked list. Okay, hope you guys understood this. Now I'll take you through few examples so we can understand better. Now, coming to these two examples, I have picked two examples for better understanding. So, the first number, what is the first number we are given? So the first number is 246. First number is 246, and this first number is stored in the node of first linked list. Okay, so this number is stored in the nodes of first linked list. Okay, and the second number is stored in the nodes of second linked list. Okay, so here 387. 387. So should I add this? No. Why? Because these numbers are stored in reverse order. Okay, so before adding these, we need to make sure that we write these digits in the correct order. So instead of writing in this order, we need to write these numbers from right to left. We need to pick the digits of the number from right to left. Okay, so the correct order should be 6, then 4, then 2. Similarly, the second number 7, then 8, then 3. Now let's add 3 plus 2 is 5, 8 plus 4 is 12. We will write 2, and 1 will be carry forward to the next place. I mean here 7 plus 6 is 13, and 1 was the carry. So how much will be there? 13. So this is the result after the addition of these two numbers. So should I return this number? No. So I should return in the same format as the input was given. Okay, so I should return this addition in the same order as the input was given. I mean in the reverse order itself. I mean 5 from right to left. 5 to, okay, here 14 will be there. Okay, 5 2 4 1. So this will be the output, and this output I need to return in the form of linked list, not in the form of integer or string or any other form. So I need to return in the form of linked list. Okay, so 5, so each digit should be stored in the node of the linked list. 5, 2, then 4, then 1. Fine. Okay. Now coming to the next problem. So how we can solve this problem? Let's understand how we can solve this problem. So, so to solve this problem, as you can see here, uh, we are adding from the last. When we add the two numbers, we start addition from the right side. As you can see here, we started addition from the last, uh, from right to left. We start add from right to left. In the same way, here also we are adding from last. Okay, okay. We will start addition from here. I mean 3 plus 2 is 5. 8 plus 2 is how much? 8 plus 4 is how much? 12. We will write the only ones place value, I mean 2. Okay, and I will store this value in the node. Okay, and again I'll add 7 plus 6 is 13, and 1 was the carry. How much will be there? 4. 1 will be the carry, and I will make sure that one carry which is left behind should be stored in the next node. Now I stored these digits in the node of the linked list. So I should return this value in the form of linked list. Okay. So now let's understand how we can solve this problem with the help of linked list and how we can apply logic. Now, so to add these two numbers, as you can see here, we are starting, when we add any two numbers, we start adding in the right side. Okay. So here in this example, let's see this example. Here 3 and 5 is there. 3 and 5 is there. So we will write in the correct order. 5 plus 3. The second number we are having is 4599. I mean, what I need to write here is 9954. Now add these two numbers. Okay. First I'll add these two digits. 3 plus 4 is what? 7. Then after that, 5 plus 5 is how much? 10. We will write the one digit, I mean 0, and 1 will be the carry that will be forward here. And 9 plus 1 carry, how much? It will be 10. We will write 0 only, and again 1 will be carry forward to the next place. Again 9 plus 1 is how much? 10. Okay. So this is the you can addition of two numbers, but I don't want to return this. Okay, what I need to return in the reverse order, in the same format as the input was given to us. So in the reverse order, 70001. Okay, so how we can approach this problem? First of all, I will create a dummy node. We can solve this problem with the help of dummy node approach. What does it mean? First of all, I'll create a dummy node. Let's see here. I'll create a dummy node with value -1. Okay. And also I'll create one more node that is current. I'll create one more node that is current, and that is also pointing to this -1. Okay, both dummy node and current is pointing to the same node, that is -1. Now, what I'll do, I'll create one more node, that is T1 and T2. This is our linked list 1 and this is linked list 2. Okay, linked list 1 contains the number of the first number. Okay, so linked list 1 contains the first number and linked list 2 contains the second number. So I need to add these two numbers. So for adding, we start adding from the right to left. We start adding from right to left. So here, as you can see, first of all, I need to add 3 and 4. Okay. So here, as the linked list start from the head, so already it is, we will add uh, from left to right here itself. Okay. So 3 plus 4, how much will be there? So first of all, to I will create one uh, T1 node that should be initially, it should be pointing to the first node of the first linked list, and T2 should be pointing to the first node of the second linked list. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll create one more variable, that is carry, and initially carry is assigned with 0. Initially the value of carry is 0. Now I'll add these two numbers. Okay, I'll add these two numbers, 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 is what? 3 plus 4 is what? 7. Okay, so I'll create one node here and assign the value 7 in this node. Okay, this is clear. Now I'll move to this T1 node to this particular element. Initially T1 was pointing to the first element node. Okay, now I will move this T1 to the second element node. Okay, similarly I will move this T2 also to the second element node. Okay, now here in this case there is no carry, so we are not going to update here. Only 7 was there. In tens place nothing is there, so carry will be still 0. Now I need to add the second node values. So 5 plus 5 is what? 10. Okay, 5 plus 5 is what? 10. So we will write 0 here and store in the new node. I will create a new node and assign 0 here, and this carry will be stored in the carry variable. So I will update the carry with 1. Initially it was 0. I will update with 1. Now here also I need to update. Okay, initially at the first time current was pointing to this dummy node, but now I will make sure that current should be pointing to the first node. Okay, the first node. Now why I define current node? Because this is to make sure that this is uh, making our newly created node. Okay, and dummy node should be pointing to the head of this newly created node. Okay, so current will be keep moving within the node of the newly created node. Okay, now current was pointing to this. Since I created another node and assigned the value, now I will make sure that the newly created node next should be pointing to this node. Newly created node should be pointing to this node, and the current now should be pointing to this node. Okay. Now at this moment, current is pointing to this node. Now, now, our T2, T1 will move to the next node. Okay. Now T1 was pointing to this element 5. Now T1 will move to the next node. So I'm seeing here there is no node. Okay. This was the last element here. So since we covered all the elements, the traversal is finished here in the first linked list. Okay. Now coming to the second linked list. In the second linked list, T2 should be pointing to the next element. Okay. Now T2 should be pointing to this particular element 9. Okay. So what I need to add here is 9. 9 plus there is no element here. Okay. All elements are covered. Okay. So there is no elements, but we are having carry here. We are having carry here. So 9 plus 1 is how much? 10. So again, we will create a new node here and assign this 0 here, and this carry will be forwarded to next. Okay. So I will update carry here, or although carry was 1 here, so I will update now. Now our current should be now pointing to the next node. So uh, before current moving to the next node, we need to make sure that the current of next should be pointing to the next node. Okay. So now our current is pointing to the next node. Now now our current is pointing to this particular node. Okay. Now in the first list, we have traverse with all the elements, so there is no need to traverse. Okay. Now coming to the second linked list, still we are having one more element, that is 9. Okay. So initially T was pointing to this particular element 9. Now it should be pointing to the next element, that is this element. Okay. So let's add 9 plus, there is no value here. Okay. But we are having carry 1. So 9 plus 1 is how much? 10. So we will create one more node 0, and 1 will be go in the carry as the carry. Okay. Now here also in the second linked list also we traverse through all the elements. Now T2 is pointing to the null. T2, now our T2 is pointing to the null node. Okay. And T1 was already traversed through all the elements. So we are not having any value left behind. Okay. So now what I'll do here is, so we need to make sure that we are having one carry left behind. So to make sure that our carry should be also included in our number, so we will create one another node and assign this leftover carry in this node. So now we got our output. So we have created a new node and keep assigning those values in the linked list. Okay. Now I can return dummy of next. After after traversing all the elements in the linked list, we can finally return dummy of next. What is dummy of next? Dummy of next is pointing to the head of to this particular element. I mean this complete node will be returning. Okay. Now coming to our code. So I will explain this code with the help of okay. with the help of example, I have taken this example, the same example I have taken here. So I'll be taking the same example, okay, and I'll explain one by one, okay, with the dry run, okay. So here I have written this code in the Java programming language, okay. So as you can see here, I have written one method, add two numbers, and this method is passing parameter with two linked list, L1 and L2. This is L1 and this is L2, okay. And the first thing what I did is I have created a dummy head, okay. Let me, so I have created a dummy head, and inside this dummy head, the value is -1, okay. Initially, the value is -1. You can keep any value, there is no problem. So, also I have created one another node, that is current. So, current is currently pointing to this dummy node. So, dummy head is also pointing to this value, and current is also pointing to this value. Okay, fine. Now, I have also created one temp1 node, okay, and temp1 is pointing to L1. I mean first linked list. This is L1. This is L1. Okay, and this T1 is pointing to the first linked list. I mean first node. Okay. So our T1. So T1 is pointing to the first node of first linked list. Okay, as you can see here, I mentioned here. Similarly, temp2 means T2 is pointing to the first node of the second linked list. Okay, and here I have defined one variable carry. I have defined one variable carry, and initially I have assigned with 0. It contains the value 0. Now I have written a while loop here, and this while loop will execute until temp1 is not equal to null or temp2 is not equal to null. If either of any two condition will get false, we will come out from this while loop and we will start executing this particular code. Okay. So now let's check this value. So while temp1 is not equal to null. Okay. So until temp1 is not equal to null, we will continue executing. Okay. Or else temp2 is not equal to null. Either of any two condition will get false. We will continue executing the code inside this while loop. So let's see, temp1 is not equal to null. Okay, yeah, this is true. Temp1 is not equal to null. Obviously, it contains value, that is 3. Let's check the second condition. Temp2 is not equal to null. Temp2, are you seeing that temp2 is not equal to null? No, temp2 is having value. Temp2 is having value, that is 4. So both the conditions are true. Since both the conditions are true, we will come inside this while loop and start executing the code within the while loop. So I have created one more variable, that is sum. So let's write here sum is there. Initially sum is what? Sum is having the same value containing the carry. So carry is what? 0. So sum is also 0 in this case because both sum and carry having the same value. Now Yeah, I have written one if condition here, and inside this if, what is the condition I have mentioned here? If temp1 is not equal to null. If temp1 is not equal to null, okay, temp1 is not null, okay, then we will come inside this if condition and I'll execute the first code. Okay, what is the first code? So the first code is sum is equal to sum plus t1 dot value. So what is the sum we are having initially? 0. 0 plus t1 dot value. What is t1 dot value? 3. So what's the final output? 3. So now we are having sum is equal to 3. So we will update here sum is equal to 3. Now moving to the next line of code, temp1 is equal to temp1 of next. So we will move our temp node to pointing to the next element of the linked list. Initially T1 was pointing to the first element, so now it will be pointing to the second element of the linked list. Okay, now moving to the second if condition, if temp2 is not equal to null. Okay, temp2 is not equal to null. Yeah, it is not equal to null. So what I'll do here is I'll do sum is equal to sum plus t2 dot value. So what is sum we are having? 3. 3 plus t2 dot value. What is t2 dot value? What is t2 dot value? 4. Okay. In the t2 value, how much? 4. So 3 plus 4 is what? 7. So now our sum is updated to 7. Initially we had 3. So now we will update by 7. Fine. So one more thing, there is no carry here. So there is no carry. So I'm not updating carry here. Okay. If in case we are having any carry, then we need to update carry as well. But in this case, we are not having any carry after sum. We are getting only 1-digit value. So that's why carry is not getting updated. So now moving to the next line of code. So again, I'll I need to verify if carry is left here or not. So let me check what is sum here. Sum is 7. So 7 by 10. How much will be there? 0. 0 will be there. So already 0 is there. Okay. So 0 was there. So no need to update. Now now I'll create a new node. Okay. I'll create a new node. Why I need to create new node? Because as the question suggests that we need to return the sum of these two linked list, sum of these two linked list numbers in the form of linked list itself. So to make sure that to return the numbers in the form of linked list, we must have a linked list. So that's why I'm creating a new node here. So I'm creating a new node, and in this new node I'm assigning the value, this the output of this value. So what will be the output of this value? Sum modulo 10. What was sum? 7. 7 modulo 10. So modulo gives the remainder. So in this case, what will be the remainder? 7. So in this newly created node, I will assign 7 here. Fine. Okay. So now moving to the next line of code. Now, now our current is pointing to this node. Okay, our current is pointing to this node. Now, with this code, what I'll do is current of next, current of next should be pointing to this node. Current of next should be pointing to this particular node. So I'm forming a linked list here. I'm forming a linked list. Now our this dummy node is pointing to this one. After that, what I'll do here is current will be pointing to the next node. Initially, current was pointing to this dummy node. Now, with this line of code, our current should be pointing to this first node. Okay, fine. Now again I'll move to the same while condition. Okay, so this is dummy set. So again I'll move to the same while condition. So again I'll check here whether temp1 is null or not. So are we seeing temp1 is equal to null? No. Okay. I missed one thing here. I forgot to move temp2 to the next element. So temp2 was pointing to the first node. Now temp2 should be, I missed this line. Okay. Now temp2 should be pointing to this particular element. Okay. Now coming back to our while condition. So temp1 should not equal to null. Okay. Are we seeing temp2 is equal to temp1 is equal to null? No. It contains a value. Okay. So this condition is true also. Now let's check this condition. Temp2 also should not equal to null. Are we seeing temp2 is equal to null? No. It also contains a value that is 5. So since these both conditions are true, we will come inside this while loop and we will start executing. So int sum is equal to carry. Okay. So what was the value of carry? Carry was having value 0. Okay. So we will assign the same value in the sum as well. So sum was having 7, but now at this time sum should be 0. Okay. Now if temp1 is not equal to null, are we seeing temp1 is equal to null? No. Okay. If temp1 is not equal to null, then we will come inside this if condition and execute this code. So sum, we will execute this code. So sum is equal to sum plus t1 dot value. What is sum we are having? 0. What is t1 dot value? 5. So 0 plus 5 is 5. So now let's update the value of sum. So sum will be 5 now. Again, we'll move to the next line of code. Now, our temp1 should be pointing to the next element now. As the code suggests, t1 should be pointing to the next element. Okay, but the we are not having any next node, so the next node is null node. Okay, so we will stop here as there is no element is left behind. Okay, so now our t1 is pointing to this null node. Okay, fine. Our t1 of the first linked list is pointing to this null node. It means we have traversed through to all the elements of the first linked list. Now, moving to the next if condition. So let's check if temp2 is not equal to null. Is temp2 is not null? Yes, temp2 is not null. It contains a value that is 5. So let's execute the first line, that is sum is equal to sum plus t2 dot value. What is sum? 5. What is t2 dot value? It is also 5. So 5 plus 5 is what? 10. Okay. So in this case, we are getting 2 digits value. So we will, what we will do here is, we will write only 0 here and 1 will be assigned in the carry variable. Okay. So I will update carry with 1. Okay. Now our temp2 should be pointing to the next element. So initially it was pointing to this. Now our temp2 should be pointing to this element. Fine. Now what is our carry? Carry is what? Sum by 10. What will be the value? What is sum? Sum is 5. No, sum is, okay, let me check here. Sum, what we are having, sum is 10. Okay, so 10 by 10 is 1. Okay, so our carry will be what? 1. So already I updated 1. Okay, now moving to the next line of code, that is, I will create one another node. I will create one another node. There is no space, so let me erase first of all. So, here in this code, what I written here is, we need to create a new node. Okay, I created a new node and assign the value, this value, the output of this code. So what is the sum here? Sum is what? 10. 10 modulo 10. So modulo gives the remainder. So what will be the remainder here? 0. Okay, so 0 will be the remainder. So we will store 0 in this newly created node. Now moving to the next line of code. Now our current of next should be pointing to the new node. What is current of next? Current of next, we are initially having null. Okay, so now current of next should be pointing to this newly created node. Okay, current of next should be pointing to this newly created node. Now moving to the next line of code, current is equal to current of next. This current is was pointing to this particular node. Now with this line of execution, our current now should be pointing to this newly created node. Okay, now again we will move back to the same while condition. Okay, now let's check, is temp1 is not equal to null. Okay, is it temp1 is not equal to null? No, it contains null. So here the condition becomes false. Okay, so it contains null. It contains null. So this condition is false. Now let's check the second condition. Temp2 is not equal to null. Is temp. Sorry, again I forgot to move this temp2 to the last node. Here it should be pointing to the last node, as I forgot to execute this particular line. Okay, so now temp2 should be pointing to this particular element. Okay, now Okay, okay. It was pointing to the same element. Okay, okay. I did that. Okay. So T2 is not null. So this condition is true. If either of any two condition is true, we will come inside this loop because this is OR operator. In OR operator, if either of any two condition is true, we will execute the while condition, while loop. Okay. Now sum is equal to carry. What is the value of carry? 1. So we will update the sum with the same value as the carry contains. So carry is having 1, so sum will be also having 1. Now, now we will execute this line of statement. If temp1 is not equal to null, is temp1 is not equal to null? Yes, this is equal to null. Okay, so this condition is false. Okay, so this condition is false, so we are not going to execute this particular line of code. Okay, so we will skip this if condition and move to the second if condition. Now let's check here if temp2 is not equal to null. Is temp2, our temp2 is not equal to null? No, this contains a value. Okay, this contains a value. Okay, so this contains a value that means 9. So 9 plus, so if this temp2 contains a value, it means we're gonna execute this particular line of code. Okay, so let's execute. Sum is equal to sum plus t2 dot value. What was sum we are having? 1 plus t2 dot value 9. So 1 plus 9 is how much? 10. Okay, fine. Now moving to the next line of code. Temp2 is equal to temp2 of next. Now our T2 should be pointing to this element. Okay, fine. Now I need to update our carry. So what is sum here? Sum is 10. 10 by 10 is what? 1. So again carry will be 1. So I updated 1. Now, so to store the value of uh, this output, what I need to do, I need to create a new node. Okay, so I'm creating a new node with this line of code. I have created a new node. Okay, I've created a new node. Fine. Now, in this particular node, what I need to assign the output of this code. What is sum? Sum we are having 10. 10 modulo 10 is what? So modulo gives the remainder. So what will be the remainder here? So remainder will be 0. Okay. So 0 will be here. Now moving to the next line of code. Now current of next should be pointing to the new node. Now current of next is what? This is current of next. So current of next is nothing. It was not pointing to any node. So with execution of this line of code, now current of next should be pointing to this newly created node. Okay, and also with this line of execution, what I'll do, I will shift this current to this newly created node. Now our current is pointing to this node. Okay, now let me erase all these things. Now again we will move the same while condition. While temp1 is not equal to null, so this condition is already false, become false. Let me check this condition. Okay, temp2 is not equal to null. Am I saying temp2 is not equal to null? No, contains a value that is 9. Okay, if either of any two condition is true, we will come inside this while loop. Okay, so we will initialize sum with carry. What is the value of carry? 1. So sum will also be 1. So it was already 1, so no need to update here. So now we will come inside this if condition. If temp1 is not equal to null, okay, are we saying temp1 is not equal to null? No, it contains a value. Okay, so we are not going to execute this statement since this condition is false. Okay, now moving to the next if condition. So let me check this condition. If temp2 is not equal to null, are we saying temp2 is not equal to null? No, temp2 contains a value that is 9. So we are going to execute this line of code, that is sum is equal to sum plus t2 dot value. What we are having sum 1 plus t2 dot value is what? 9. 1 plus 9 is how much? 10. Okay. Now what I'll do in the next line of code, temp2 should be pointing to the temp2 of next. Now our T2 should be pointing to this null node. Okay, our T2 should be pointing to this particular null node. So in the second linked list also we have traversed through all the elements. Okay, so no elements left in the second linked list as well. Okay, now I need to update the carry here. So carry is what? Sum. What is the sum? 10. 10 by 10 is how much? What quotient it will give? 0. Okay. So carry will be what? Okay. It will give 1, not 0. Okay. It will give 1. Now, moving to the next line of code. So I'll create a new node. Okay. I've created a new node. Now, in this new node, what I need to assign? Sum modulo 10. What is sum? We are having 10. 10 modulo 10 is what? It will modulo gives the remainder. So what remainder it will give? 1. It will give 0. Okay, it will give 0. So let's assign 0 in this newly created node. Now coming to the next line of code, current of next is equal to new node. So current of next should be pointing to this newly created node. Also the current should be pointing to the current of next. This current should be now pointing to this newly created node. Now again moving back to the same while condition. So at this time, as it was already, this condition was also not satisfied, and the second linked list also temp2 is null. So as I can see, temp2 is also null. So this condition is also become false at this time. Okay, so both the condition becomes false here. So we will come out from this while loop. Okay, we will come out from this while loop and we will start executing outside code of this while loop, that is this condition. So after that I need to ensure that whether we have any carry left behind or not. As I already explained this logic, that if any carry is left behind, so how we can check if any carry is left or not? So I will check with this condition. If carry is greater than 0, if equal to 0, then fine. If it is equal greater than 0, as we can see, carry is greater than 0, that is 1. If carry is greater than 0, then what I'll do here is I will create a new node. Okay, I'll create a new node. I will create a new node and what I'll do, I will point a current of next to this newly created node as this code suggests here. Okay, I will point the current of next to this newly created node and I will assign the value of carry, that is 1, inside this newly created node. After that, I'll come out this while loop, sorry, if condition, and I'll return this. Okay, dummy of head is equal to next. Dummy of head next. What is dummy of next? Dummy of next is pointing to the head of this linked list. The head of this linked list. So dummy of next is this complete node, this complete linked list. So dummy of next refers to what? These complete linked lists. So we are returning, in this case, we are returning dummy of next means this complete linked list. I mean 70001. So this will be our result of the output. Okay. So hope you guys understood. So let me take you through the lead code and try to execute this. So let's run this problem. Okay, so all the test cases are working fine. So as you can see here, all the test cases are working fine. Now let me submit. Okay, fine. It got submitted. So I hope you guys understood. So I'll share you the code in the description. So you guys can refer the code. And if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you so much.